In the words of one of my heroes, if you ask me, the greatest bodybuilder of all time, Ronnie Coleman, yeah, buddy, I'm making a fool of myself. That's how excited I am. Where am I going? What am I doing? Guys, it is Henderson State Athletics Hall of Honor weekend. And I am hitting that slab right now, heading to I got about 3 places that I consider home. This is one of them. One of my absolute most favorite places on earth, Arkadelphia, Arkansas. If you are familiar with this place, with this town, this little homey town, I don't know. To me, it's like heaven on earth. I'm just saying. People here are phenomenal. The people there are phenomenal. I have a lot of great friends there, a lot of great memories. There's 2 colleges, which makes for a great, collegiate atmosphere. There's the great Henderson State University, and then across the street, there's that other school. If you want to know what that other school is, I'll let you Google it and try to figure it out, because I'm not going to talk about it. You get no free publicity on my end. School across the street. So, yeah, I'm this weekend, or tonight, actually. It's October 10th, 2015. Myself, along with about, I'd say close to 25 or so other teammates of mine. Look, in college I played baseball and I played football, okay? It was kind of a weird, I guess I can kind of give you the run up to that. I signed on to play football at Henderson State in 2011. I redshirted in 2011, and I've told this story before. I signed as a running back, got converted to a fullback. That's not really a part of this story, but anyways. When 2014 rolled around, it was time. Well, I had to medically retire from football. I had a string of concussions that kind of got me like red flagged, and it was in my best interest that I did not continue playing football. But I had some eligibility left, and I was able. I'll just give you the story. It's December of the fall semester in 2014, and I think it's like either the week before finals, or it might be finals week, I'm not really sure. I think it was the week before finals. And I'm in bed. It's like almost 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I'm just kind of coming to, and I get a phone call, and I see it's my dad's name. And the first thing that popped into my head was, oh boy, what's wrong? Why am I getting a phone call? Something must have happened to somebody, or, I didn't think I had no idea what it could have been. My only thought was, this might not be a good phone call. I answered the phone, and it was the greatest phone call I could have received. My dad works for an athletic recruiting service, and he was just kind of making his rounds, I guess, around that area. And of course, any chance he gets to visit Henderson State, he's going to, because he's he's a fellow ready. And he called me and said, "Hey, can you be in the head baseball coach's office at 7, Coach Hooten?" Sure, I guess. He's like, "Come down here and be here, 7 sharp. Hurry up." And so I look at, it's like 6:30 or something like that. I gather myself, and I'm thinking, what in the world is this about? See, in my mind, what I was doing at the time, I was doing like some strength conditioning stuff with the football team. So I'm thinking maybe like, okay, I'm going to go down there and maybe we're going to talk some like maybe strength responsibilities or something with baseball. I don't know. I get there, I see my dad. He walks me into Coach Hooten's office, and we sit down. And he says, "I hear you play a little baseball." Yeah, I hadn't played in, going on almost 4 years now. But yeah, it's past. See, growing up, I loved baseball. Was my first love. Baseball was just everything. I remember from my childhood. If I wasn't playing wiffle ball, or if I wasn't, like long tossing or something, I lived out in front of a bean field, and a lot of my early teenage years was spent out walking in the rows of this field, picking up golf balls that my brother and I had hit out there over the years, and there was a surplus, thousands of golf balls out here. And I would load these golf balls up in a box. I'd take them back to where our yard started, and I would just soft toss to myself, and I would work on, like place it, working on middle of the way, working on, hitting away, just things like that. And that's just all I wanted to do when I was younger. And I had a pretty good high school career, and I had some looks coming out of college or coming out of high school for baseball, but it just didn't play out. I ended up signing, to play football. Well, I'm sitting with Coach Hooten, and he says, I hear you play a little ball. I'm like, yeah. And he says, well, here's what I need from you. I need you to go home, get your gear, and I want you to come try out for me this coming Monday. And I'm like, did I just hear what I think I heard? Whatever. I go drop my truck off. I get in truck in truck with my dad. We run back to my hometown. I take the weekend, I take the weekend, I do some working, I hit the cage a little bit, I catch a couple pins for some of the high school players that we had in the hometown, in the town that I'm from, and I kind of just did a crash course on, how to be a baseball player again. And I played catcher, and my biggest concern was I haven't thrown a baseball in like 3.5, 4 years. I know he's going to want me to throw down the first. He's going to want me to throw to second. He's going to want me to throw down to third. So I had some concerns there, but man, I get to this tryout, and it went about as good as it could. And he says, all right, man, I had like 2 years of eligibility left, and he said, here's kind of what here's what I'm thinking. You take this first year, you might get a little bit of playing time, but you take this first year and learn, from the guys that are ahead of you, because he had a couple of guys that, that had been with them for a little bit longer and paid their dues and earned their playing time. And so, sure, awesome, and all I heard was, you get to play baseball again. And man, if there was ever a team, that had the identity of a bunch of scrappy idiots that just love to compete and love to play ball, this was that team. And I fit like a glove, no pun intended, but I fit in with these guys like I'd been playing ball with them for years, man. Here's the significance of this team. This team was in the 2014 season, it wasn't a very good season. They were picked to finish dead last in the conference in the 2015 season. Picked dead last in the GAC in the GAC preseason, like preseason polls or whatever it was, and they were just counted out before the season ever got started. Coach Hooten did a phenomenal job with two things. If he had a need to be filled, he went out and got the player to fit that need. And then also he retained a lot of his guys. It was the amount of seniors that we had on that team was just crazy. And so, we went into the season and, we got off to a hot start. But, I forgot how many games we played, somewhere around like 60 regular season games, something like that. And it's hard to be really consistent with all that. It's really hard to put together win after win after win. In baseball, it's teams get streaky. Like you might put 5 wins in a row together, and then all of a sudden, you might hit a bad spot, and you put up like 3 or 4 losses in a row. What made this team so special was that we won the games we needed to win, and we got hot at the right time. Picked dead last in the conference in the preseason, okay? Well, we go into the conference tournament that year, and we go to the finals, and we didn't win the tournament, but there's a small chance that we could sneak into a regional. And so we get back from the conference tournament. We're all watching the online presentation of the Central Region bracket. And we get announced that we were the 6th seed in this in this regional tournament. And we snuck in there. I mean, we snuck in. Hey man, why not us, right? We snuck in there. We get on a plane. We fly out to St. Cloud, Minnesota. St. Cloud was the number 1 team in the nation. And we beat St. Cloud on their home field. Not once, but twice. Just something in the air that tournament. Everything was clicking. I mean, our bats were red hot. Pitchers were just dominating games. I mean, there was never a time during that Central Regional tournament that we were never not in control. We went to the championship game and we ended up getting behind, but there was a big rain delay. And when the rain delay happened, we had a little bit of momentum going forward, and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to pick things back up in about 30 minutes. And so we got all the life in the world in our dugout. I mean, we are chomping at the bits to get this game reached, because we might be down a couple of runs or so, but we're about to win this ball game. And sure enough, we come back, we win the Central Region. That's our ticket to Cary, North Carolina. We go to the D2 College World Series in Cary, North Carolina. So we get back from St. Cloud, Minnesota, Central Region champs, even though we were picked dead last in the preseason. Everybody slept on us. Well, we go to Cary, North Carolina. We win in the first round. I think it was Tarleton State. Not Tarleton. Golly, I can't remember. I can't remember any of these teams now. I only remember one, and that was the team that beat us. But we ended up getting put out of the D2 College World Series by the eventual winners, Tampa, and we finished the year ranked 4th in the nation. A team starting the year off, I don't even know what we were ranked. It couldn't have been that high at all. But we were picked to be dead last in the conference, and we go to the Division II College World Series and go to the semifinals and get put out, unfortunately, but finish the year ranked 4th in the nation. The only way that experience could have been any better was if we won the whole thing. But that 2015 team, one of the greatest teams in Henderson State baseball history is getting inducted. The entire team. We're the first team to get inducted into the Henderson State Athletics Hall of Honor. The very first team to do it. And it's an absolute honor to get to be a part of this. And I can't wait. I'm heading down there now. I can't wait to see these guys, you know, mix it up with them, tell some stories, get rowdy, you know, and just like relive all of that. I cannot wait. And so, yeah, man, we're heading to the Delph. Gonna finish this drive off. Got a good little drive, about 3-hour drive. Gonna finish this drive off. When we get there, I'm gonna get some, you know, gonna go around campus a little bit. Might grab a bite to eat. I'm gonna take y'all to one of my favorite gyms in that area. Gonna get a good workout in. Thinking it might be a little Armageddon time, you know, and get some footage with all that. And then yeah, it's off to the induction ceremony. And hopefully I can get that whole thing and you know, get you guys some good footage of all that. So stick around. Just made it to Arkadelphia and had to stop and grab a bite to eat. Pre-workout before we got things going, and I had to come to my favorite spot, Slim and Shorty's. If you're ever in Arkadelphia, you gotta come to Slim and Shorty's. Look at this thing right here. Oh yeah, best burger in town. So I'm gonna get this in the tank, go and train arms. It is an absolutely beautiful day in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. I mean, absolutely perfect. Mid-70s, sun's out, got a little breeze. Got to work off that lunch I just had. And so I figure I'd go to the safest little area of like visitor parking that I knew of. Because the last thing I want to do is get a ticket by campus security. And they'll do it too. If you ain't got a tag on the back of your car, they'll get you. And I'm not in a position where I can pay a ticket right now. So I figure I'd park down and near our athletic performance center, and I would just walk my way back up to campus towards the rec center. I'm gonna check out a couple spots on campus too. I think I'm gonna start with the bookstore, carouse the aisles a little bit, see what I can find. Maybe get a nice shirt or something to wear for the game and the ceremony tomorrow on the field. What I can do right now though, since we got the time, I'm gonna show y'all a path I used to walk almost every day when heading to class. Look at this thing. Look at this, every day. I mean, you want to ask, you know, like, how do you get strong legs? You know, they ought to make it mandatory to make athletes walk up and down this thing every day going to class, because it is a monster. There's nothing but steep hills all over this campus. If you go to the football practice field, one thing that I feel like really sets our stadium and just our facility set up apart from a lot of other schools is the beautiful natural scenery we have. And I'll get some footage tomorrow, you know, like on a game day, kind of show that off a little bit. But on the practice field, massive hill. It was good bit of reinforcement to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. Living right, taking care of business. Because if you weren't, chances are you would hear one of the coaches say this: "Oh, you were late to study hall? Get on the hill. Oh, you missed breakfast, check? Get on the hill. And luckily, I didn't have that said to me too many times. So we're gonna keep walking campus a little bit, head to the bookstore, see what they got there, and then it's off to the rec center. I'm gonna show y'all the gym that I started out in years ago. It's where the passion was born. So we'll check that out and get things ready for tonight. Looks like old travel shirts. So I worked my magic a little bit, and I asked one of the desk workers if you're going in the Hall of Honor to get a discount or anything, and she flashed a coupon card for 20% off. So we about to make the most of this. I found the clearance aisle. Bookstore endeavor, success. Got a cool little polo for tomorrow. I think my food's settled, and we are heading to the rec center. Oh boy.
well, that's that. A little trip up to campus, check things out. Man, it's been 10 years since I've been here. Full time. Got my undergrad in 15. But everything looks the same, mostly. But anyways, great workout in the rec center. That was the first gym. Like, I mean, I went to like my weight room and stuff in high school, you know, but an actual gym setting where it's not like sports specific type stuff, you know, more bodybuilding oriented. That was it. That's where it all started. 18 years old, 2011. That's where it all started. And man, like I'm in there the whole time, and I'm just thinking of people that I worked out with. My buddy Drew Rabb did an episode of Glory Stories. That's episode two. Buddy of mine named Brandon Martin, call him Brando. Dude has, to this day, one of the most insane bench presses I've ever seen. Just incredible strength, you know, and to this day, I mean, he's still getting after it, you know. Me and a buddy named Heath Hotfinger, he was a fullback, you know, and him and I worked out in there together. You know, when I was really trying to put on size and get bigger, you know, he took me under his wing and just installed a lot of what I like, the habits I have when it comes to the gym and all that. You know, and there's other guys too that I've worked out with, you know, and had great sessions with in there. You know, and that just now was a great session. Great little, I mean, I'm kind of limited on time, but I was able, you know, 35 minutes, clank and bang some arms, get in, get out. It was good. So now we are heading back to the car, and in order to get there, we got to go back down this monster. Of course, going down is a little bit easier than going up, I guess. But yeah, here's a better view of it. Good times, man. Good times. So next stop, we're going to our hotel for the night. And then from here, or from the hotel, we got the Hall of Honor banquet starting around 6. The ceremony itself will start roughly around 7, and I'll try to get plenty of footage from all that. But it's been a great day. Good trip down memory lane. Getting to see all this stuff, you know, does the heart good. And I was saying this a couple days ago, this is like my athletic career coming full circle. You know, all the practices, no matter if it was football and baseball. You know, I've won some games. I've been a part of some great teams. But this is the greatest achievement that, you know, I didn't expect this to ever happen to me. You know, granted, it's not just me, you know, it's the entire team that's getting inducted. Everybody from the youngest freshman to the oldest senior played a role on that team. And that's why we were so successful. But getting able to, you know, I've seen these ceremonies. I've seen the pregame shows with all this stuff. And it's just amazing, you know, and thinking like, wow, I wonder what it was like when those guys, those men and women were here on campus taking part in all this, you know. And then now I'm Gonna get to be standing on a field that I played on in front of a diehard Henderson State crowd, and it's gonna be good. Can't wait for it. So, banquet ceremony tonight, and then oh yeah, I forgot, another episode of Glory Stories coming to y'all tonight. So stay tuned for that.